Okay, let's wait for a few other attendees, then we'll begin. Sorry for the delay. I was fixing some technical stuff. Okay, so far we have oh, hi Riaz and Pizzo. How are you guys? How has the week for trading been for you guys? Can you hear me? Just in case. Okay, all right, great. Okay, let me just. All right. Let me just begin. Okay, without further delay, welcome guys to another webinar series for IronFX, and this is for breaking news and setups. So as usual, guys, the disclaimer is down here below. Let me just try to shift it out there. Okay, so as usual, guys, the disclaimer is as follows. Nothing in this webinar should be construed as investment or trading advice. It is instead educational material. So please do your own diligence before you guys trade, yeah? Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm your host for today. My name is Woon Hong, and I'm an investment analyst at Everest Fortune Group. And the agenda for today will be key economic news events for this week, as well as how will this news affect the market, and how lastly will be technical analysis of the current market and key levels. So for the key economic news events for this week, we have firstly GBP. We have multiple impactful news that I'll be going through with you guys, which will be happening later on in a few hours time. Secondly will be USD unemployment claims, which also will be happening later on tonight. Thirdly will be USD ISM services PMI news, which also will be happening later on tonight. And fourthly will be Canadian unemployment rate, which will be happening tomorrow. And lastly, the USD NFP, which is the non-farm employment change, which will be also happening tomorrow. And we'll be expecting a lot of volatility for today for GBP, and for tomorrow will be USD and Canadian. Okay, so let me just dive right into the charts. But first, let me go through with you the Forex news that will be happening for today and tomorrow. Okay, so earlier on we had the CHF, which is the francs CPI news, and the interest rates actually maintained at the negative 0.1%, which is the same as the forecasted data. So if you later on, I'll be going through with you guys. So let's see USD CHF. Okay, so if you see USD CHF, let's go to, usually when I'm doing an analysis together with news, I would practice on going to the same timing. So for example, it is 6:30 a.m. GMT. So for 6:30 a.m. GMT, let's just go into here. We are on the 30 minutes chart, and let's just go to 6:30. Okay, so for the 6:30, to see it clearer, okay, so around this timing, 6:30 was when the news data released. You can see slightly going up for a little bit, maybe about, let's see, let me smooth this a little bit, just slightly over, slightly 15 pips. And then since we had a, we were actually at the resistance right here, intermediate resistance right here, you can see there were many different little wicks over here, like one of it, two of it, three of it, a few of it right here, even though there was a little breakout of this intermediate resistance right here, but it's not that significant, and price actually reacted to the intermediate resistance over here. Okay, so this news wasn't that impactful because it's just a month-on-month CPI news for CHF. And if you see CHF pairs, usually this pair doesn't really move that quickly. For example, if we had to move maybe 100 pips, it takes about one whole day. And even for news, it didn't really impact it that much, except for when it reached the intermediate resistance over here, then the price actually went all the way down. But if you see the news previously, it's a negative 0.1%, which is a drop from the previous data. So since there was a drop, CHF pairs usually, pairs starting with CHF will actually go up because it's stronger. It means that CHF is strong. But since the data is negative, so CHF is supposed to go down, and for USD, CHF is supposed to go up. Hence, there was this little push upwards to this area. And I was actually expecting it for it to maybe break past this high over here, so that if it breaks past this high, it can reach this resistance. But it actually reacted to the intermediate resistance over here, and hence the news wasn't that strong. Yeah, so moving on for GBP pairs, you can see later on there will be what time is it? Oh, it's in a few. It's maybe in an hour's time. Yep, that the news will come out. So Bank of England monetary policy report, we can see that if it's more hawkish than expected, it is good for the GBP currency. So previously the Fed's actually mentioned to maintain the interest rates during the mid of the year, but towards the end of the year, they were expecting to increase interest rates, as well as for USD country as well. So we can expect for the GBP currency to become hawkish, but we definitely have to wait for the news data to be released, and then we can decide when can we trade for the markets. So you can see for this MPC official bank rate votes, basically for the 7 is this CD3 numbers over here, 7, 0, and 2. So for 7 is the number of people. The first number is how many MPC members voted to increase interest rates, and second number is how many voted to decrease interest rates, and lastly the third is how many voted to hold rates. So as you can see, for the past previous months, it's always been 702. So most of them are in favor of increasing interest rates, because if the increased interest rate is definitely good for the currency, right? So they are expected to increase their interest rates, but you should always make sure that you are looking at the news correctly. So I will suggest to go to CNBC. GBP. Okay, let's see for GBP. Yeah, so let's see this news. Dollar touches 4-week peak. This is describing GBP USD, I think. Let's see which is okay. So for this last part, the US dollar actually strengthened against most other currencies, and there were risk aversion trades across all the asset classes. So if you look at GBP USD, we can see for GBP USD, it currently broke the first support previously, and you can see for the projection that we drew out, it actually broke past the 100% projection already. So it's diving to the second support, and I think when the news actually released, they will maybe it will actually dive all the way to the second support, and then it will start to reverse from there, because we are expecting for GBP news to actually mention that they would like to increase interest rates, and this would cause GBP currency to actually go up. Yeah, that's the same for GBP JPY, because you can see GBP JPY and GBP USD are have a strong correlation with each other, and hence price will most likely come down to this second support, but it will take a while for it. So it may not reach there in time before the news release. So you gotta keep watch for this GBP USD pair, because I think it's another maybe 50, slightly less than 50 pips for it to reach the second support for GBP USD, which is a multi-swing low area. So this is the part where you are able to swing. So if you take a swing buy, long trade over here. Let's see. If you were to put a buy trade over here, your stops, I would say, let's see, let's look for any key levels. I think this could be a strong level. Okay, so if you were to put I will put my SL over here, which is slightly less than 80 pips, and probably aim for this high over here. So if I were to take this trade, I will actually set my BE once it reaches this area, which is this area over here, because this area is where there were multiple reactions. One for it being the resistance, it broke past, come down, broke it again, but afterwards it became a support after. So after it broke this area, it became a support, right? Then support again, then here rejected again. So, and finally it broke past here. So after breaking past this support area, it's gonna be a resistance area. So we're expecting for GU to actually come down to this second support. Actually, we'll call it the first support now. So yeah, because this swing low over here, so we are expecting for it to go all the way up to this level. But once it reaches this area, then we'll set our we'll shift our SL to break even, so you won't be in a loss. Yeah. So this would be ideally my target for GU. So if you guys want to take note of this, you can, but just remember it's just my advice, and you please do your own analysis too if you are able to. Okay. Yeah, let me see what other news. Okay, so for the yeah, it's mostly about the monetary policy summary. So once it gets released, you can definitely search it online and see the what data has been announced, and you can see whether, for example, the forecasted data is 5.25% compared to the previous data of 5%. This means that they are likely to increase the interest rates by 0.25%, and this will cause GU to actually go up. Yeah, so this is just the fundamental news. And because another confluence that I had when I want to trade GBP USD was that if price actually reaches this swing low, so this area, right, and I would like it for it to come all the way up here to test this trend line that has been broken. So because major trend lines are always being tested, so you can see price has really dipped below and hasn't really tested this trend line yet. So I'm expecting it to test this area over here. So imagine if price comes down to our buy entry over here. Let's say I name this as my buy entry. So I'm aiming for it to be here. Okay, so this is what I'm looking at personally, but you don't have to follow me. It's just what I feel may actually happen. And as for GBP JPY, why I chose this pairs is because GBP JPY and GBP USD are more volatile. So let's say I'm taking this out, placing this as my first resistance. Okay, so this will be my second resistance. Okay, this shall be my first support. Okay, for my second support, you can definitely put this at this low right here, but it's another 300 pips. So I don't think price will actually move that quickly unless maybe NFP. Yeah, maybe for NFP, price will actually cause GBP JPY to either break this support or just react off it. Yeah. So this is what I'm looking at. So if I were to put this as my second support, okay, so I'm looking for a buy, which is the same bias as my GBP USD. But if you can see, my SL will be so big. So I will not actually take this trade personally, but to look at GU instead. So let me try to draw a Fibo. So if I were to draw a Fib over here, okay, so if I put all Fibs, you can see at this first support area, there's a 50% retracement level. which I feel price could actually react to it or react to the 38.2% level. So let me just filter it out. Okay, but if you can see, the 38.2% FIB level is not it's not that stable because there's no key levels to complement this FIB. So I would rather choose the 50% level, in which I feel is a stronger support level because of these many touches. So 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, couldn't break until the 4th touch. Okay, until this point where it broke and broke again. So I think if you break this area, after it broke here, it becomes a resistance, right? So it broke here easily. So what's next? For it to become a support area. So I feel this is the area where it's most likely for a buy. So I will take this trade personally. But I will trade only after the news. But if you are feeling more you're more a risk averse person, maybe you can trade along with the news, but it's not really recommended for beginners themselves. So yeah, so if I were to take a long position, my TP will actually be slightly here. And for my SL, I will adjust it accordingly, because if I were to draw a FIB, let me just filter this out. Okay, so I will actually put my SL, even though there seems like a small movement here, right? Because of these little candles right here. But in any case, there was a resistance right here. It broke through, came down, retest this area. So it's a valid pullback support area. So from this area, I will actually place my SL right below. And then my target will be, I will aim for it to maybe this high, but it's another, like I said, it's another 300 pips. So it may take maybe a 3 to 5 days for GJ to actually make a 300 pip move. So yeah. So if you can see, there's a reason why I placed my SL right below there, because there was the small little pullback support area. And also there's the 61.8% FIB area right here. And if you guys know, 61.8% is a more ideal retracement level. So it's where the buyers will come in and try to buy during this key level. So this one I'm looking at for GJ and GU. Okay, so just as simple as this. Let's see. Okay, let me just delete this. And oh yeah, guys, if you guys have any questions or pairs that you guys want me to go through with you, after going through the important pairs, just let me know and I'll go through with you guys on the pairs itself. And okay, let's move on to USD. Okay, so for USD, there's unemployment claims as well as ISM services PMS. So let me just explain these two news. So bear with me, and as I explain with you guys these news. So basically for the forecast is that it will be higher than the previous data of 221,000. So it's forecasted to have a 226,000. So means that if there are more unemployment claims, this is bad for the USD currency. Because if you see there are more unemployment claims, would mean that there are more unemployed people, right? So means if there are more unemployed people, means the USD currency will actually not look good, because there are more unemployed people. So if you were to look at this data, so basically if you see for the previous month of July, the previous data, which is July 20th, so the previous data on July 20th was 228,000, but the actual data on July 27th was 221,000. So this means that is a better outlook for the USD currency, as there are lesser unemployment claims. So if there are lesser unemployment claims, means it's better for the USD currency. Okay, so let's see. Let's just go to July 27, 12:30 p.m. It should be the same timing. So let's see for DXY. July 27, okay, it's right here. Okay, 12:30 p.m., right? Okay, can you guys see this area? Okay, at 12 o'clock, it's really becoming super bearish. You can see it's out of nowhere, it's becoming bearish, right? And it's such a long candle. And at 12:30 p.m., it went all the way up right here for at least an hour or two because of this news of the unemployment claims. So this unemployment claims is very important in the sense that is whether you can see is generally viewed as a lagging indicator. The number of unemployed people is an important sign of overall economic health because consumer spending is highly correlated with labor market conditions. So remember, if the previous data, the actual was actually lower than the previous data. So that's why there was an increase in the price here out of nowhere, which has no link at all. If you would like to see this area, maybe it's valid, maybe slightly here, because there was this part where it actually where price actually rejected once, rejected twice, and broke past. Then what's next? After breaking through this resistance, it becomes a support, right? That's why price actually reacted this area and this area right here. So this news is actually pretty important, and it's best if you are if you have less experience, it's best to trade after the news. So after the news, you can look for key levels. So let's just dive right back to the 4-hour chart. Okay, on DXY, we can see that DXY is at a major resistance, is at a resistance level right now because of this area, whereby there's a 100% Fibo projection previously, and it has already broke past, so we can delete that. And now it's at the 78.6% Fibo retracement level from, if you draw from this high over here, this swing high, and this swing low, you can see that there's a very strong 78.6% Fibo level, along with the pullback support. Pullback resistance level, because you see from this area, it broke, it was a support, broke past the support, and now it's a resistance. So therefore, there's a resistance level over here, and we can see there is a chance for USD to actually break past it. So if the news data actually come out positive, means that there are lesser unemployed people, means that it's strong for the DXY currency, right? So DXY will actually go all the way up here, I feel, to the second resistance. Okay, if we dive to the lower time frame at 1 hour time frame, we can see that price is was starting to push down, but instead it's making smaller red candles and starting to become bullish again. And if you follow market structure, you can see that it's making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, somewhat higher high here and higher low. So we can see price is actually still bullish in a sense. And let's say, so we are taking the previous data, 221,000. So if you see that the data at 12:30 p.m. is actually 200 and lower than 221,000, then DXY will fly. And if it's greater than 221,000, DXY will actually fall. So my prediction will be, it will be actually somewhat greater, I feel, because it's at a resistance level, right? So I wouldn't want it to break past here. So if DXY actually breaks past this resistance level, then GU, EU, and gold will actually fall, because if DXY goes up, GU, EU, and gold will most likely fall, because they have a negative correlation with each other. Yeah. So this is something that you guys can take note of. And let's see for Euro USD if our prediction is correct. So if DXY falls, right, Euro USD should go up, correct? So Euro USD is at a major support level right now, because there's a overlap support area at this with the 78.6% retracement level, as well as the 61.8% Fibo projection level. So this will be considered as a strong support level because of these two Fibo confluences. So if I were to take a buy position over here, and then my stops could be below this swing low, and then my TP will actually be this swing high over here. If you could actually put your stop loss maybe before this, right after this swing low, So if you don't want to risk that much, but I would say it's slightly risky because this area is not that stable. But if you were to take this trade, and then the risk to reward ratio is actually 1:2. But I would say to be safe, you can target this area, which is slightly below 1:2. Okay, so for DXY EU, so if EU I'm buying, GU I should be buying too, right? So like I said previously, we are aiming to buy for GU over here and for it to go all the way up. And as for gold, we are looking for gold to come down here before we take a buy to this area. Because this support area is actually pretty strong in the sense that there's a 61.8% retracement level and 78.6% feeble projection level. So you can see that the feeble projection level hasn't been touched yet, but I feel that in the next few hours, this area could be touched, and these are levels that you can take note of. So yeah, these are the buys that I'm taking. So let's say I'm taking a buy right here. My position will be here. I'll actually target this area and not this resistance because I believe that price could react here. And my stops, I wouldn't want to place it too far. But for gold, because of its volatility and there's no key levels that we are referring to, so I'll put my stops below the 78.6% feeble retracement level. And my target will be to a maximum of this area. Because price, like I said previously, price would tend to react to strong trend lines. So you can see there's a strong trend line right here, 1 tap, 2 tap, 3 tap, and finally it broke below. So yes, this is what I'm looking at. Buys for EU, GU, and gold. But do note that this is just based off my opinion on DXY, and it may actually, in any case where DXY actually breaks here, then you will invalidate all your buys. But in a positive scenario whereby DXY actually does a head and shoulder, so I'm not sure if you guys can see this, but let me just draw it out for you. So this is the left shoulder, this the head. So price come here, come down, form a right shoulder. This is your right shoulder, and then this is where the part where it comes down. Okay. So this is what I'm looking at for DXY. Like I said, it's just a prediction of mine and not investment or trading advice. So yeah, if you guys have any opinions or how I should look at the market in any way, so just type in the chat box below. Can I see if anyone is able to type in the chat box, just so I can ensure I'm actually looking at the chat if possible. Okay, let me see. Question and answer. Let me put this. Okay. Yeah. I open the Q&A question box for everyone so that you guys can submit questions. And do let me know if you have any questions that you guys want to ask. And if not, let's just carry on with for August 4th. So August 4th, which is tomorrow, there'll be Canadian employment change, unemployment rate, and as well as USD NFP, right? So let's take a look at UCAT because it's one of the majors and there's Canadian news tomorrow. So for UCAT, usually news are what's pushing UCAT, right? Either USD news or CAD, because if not, you can see all these candles right here, even on the 4-hour chart, it's been consolidating during this area. And then this is what we call in Wyckoff, sorry, we'll trap this in a box right here. Let me see, let me just draw a parallel channel. Okay, so it was in a channel. And if you traded within this range, you will probably have made a lot because it has been channeling in this range for maybe half a month. So yeah, until it actually broke out of this area. So for UCAD, we're looking at a sell from this area. So because if Euro USD we're buying, GBP USD we're buying, gold we're buying, then USD CAD USD GPY we're selling, right? So because they have a negative correlation with each other. So at this point, if I were to look for a sell, this will be my target. So usually we like to play it safe and put our stop loss at areas whereby price is most could end up at, but we put our stop loss beyond these levels to play it safe, because I'm pretty sure there are many of times whereby price actually touched here, came up a bit, and then dropped. So last time I used to put it right at the key level, but now I place it slightly beyond there, maybe 5 pips above or below key levels. So for sells, I'll put it above. For buys, I'll put it below, right? Okay, so if I were to look at this trade, the XL is actually pretty big in a sense that this is the only other resistance we could find. So it's also the 127.2% Fibo extension level. So if price actually comes all the way up here, then you will be in drawdown. But it's most likely for price to drop from this 127.2%. Yeah, because of price being weak during this area, as sellers will come in since it's the 127.2% Fibo extension level. But of course, this level is it's possible for it to break too, because there is imbalance over here. So this is what we call imbalance, because there's an impulsive move downwards, and then the gaps from this area definitely needs to be filled. If you guys know about ICT, which is Inner Circle Trader, he talks about smart money concepts and talks about fair value gaps, all this, so imbalances. So this is what you should look out for. And just for your extra knowledge, maybe next time during our webinars, we will host webinars on smart money concepts, because it may be something new to you guys. And yeah, I think it'll be interesting to know and add this to your arsenal as well. So if you were to take a look at this, so we are expecting for, okay, so for the Canadian forecast, is expected to be 5.5% compared to the previous data of 5.4%. So Canadian currencies will be strong. And so for example, USD CAD will actually fall, right? Because it has a negative correlation. So this is another tick off our boxes. Means that it actually lines up with what we're looking at for sales, right? So if we were to sell over here, so we're looking for sell to this support level. And of course, this area is important as well, because it's a pullback area, right? Pullback support level. So I'll take this out. And for price to actually place it before this pullback support area, which is 80 pips. And then our stop loss is above this 127.2% Fibo extension level. Let's get rid of all of this. Okay, so we've covered Euro USD, GU, USD CHF. Oh, sorry, USD. Oh, we haven't covered this because it's not relevant anymore. UCAD and gold, right? Okay, so for the NFP for USD tomorrow, for NFP, this is what would most likely happen, like what I said previously. Okay, so for USD, so what we're looking at for NFP is for price to actually sink all the way down here, because if we take a look at the daily time frame, you can see that price is actually Okay, so we can see for market structure, it's a very nice high over here, and it's a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So what's next? Lower high, right? So if price doesn't actually breaks past this high, we are good to go. And then we are looking for a swing all the way down here. Okay, so let's see if I can draw a trend line, maybe here on the daily time frame. Okay, so this is what I'm looking at. If price actually breaks this trend line, right? Let's go down to 4 hours. Okay, you can see price actually rejected multiple times of this trend line. You can see touch and tap and go, right? So what we're looking at is for price to not break past this trend line and for it to tap and go, right? This is what we're looking at for market structures, but price has touched it many times, like what I drew previously, like 3 to 4 times. So it's possible that price actually breaks past here, come down, retest, and yeah, after it breaks past this area. So let me just zoom in. If price actually breaks past here, come down, it's most likely to test this as a new support right now, and then you can look for a buy on Friday. So if DXY is looking for a rise upwards, then EU, GU, and gold will actually go down, right? Okay, let's see. Okay, let's just take a look at oil quickly. Let me see. Okay, so this support area for oil is pretty strong because you see this large wick over here means that it actually rejected this large support area because of a 23.6% Fibo retracement level. Okay, so once it has rejected this 23.6% Fibo retracement level, you can see that this level is actually pretty strong in the sense that price could most likely go all the way up here for oil, right? Because if you were to take a buy, I would say this stop loss is pretty huge. You could place it below these lows right here, these lows here. Okay, so we're looking for a buy all the way up to this area. Yeah, so I'm curious as to how oil will react because it also broke past this trend line right here, means that it's turning bullish. And if but if I look at the Ichimoku cloud, it's still bullish. So on a higher time frame, I'm pretty sure if we are on the daily time frame, it's actually bullish because it's still at this support area and hasn't broken through. So what we're looking at will be a buy from up here. And your SL can be around this second support area. Yep, I'm not sure if you guys trade oil, but for me, I don't really trade oil. I trade more of commodities, just one. And Forex pairs, yeah. So, okay, let's just see what's next. So yeah, for NFP, unemployment rate. Okay, it's interesting how the unemployment rate is gonna be lesser than expected because the previous one, you can see the previous has always been a decrease and increase and increase and decrease, right? So if the forecast is 3.6%, which is equivalent to the previous data, then price DXY wouldn't really increase or decrease that much. But of course, you still have to see the number of people being unemployed for this. So the forecast is actually 203,000. We can see for on July 7 is the only negative out of all the other months. Yeah, you can see there's only twice negative since 2022. So I'm pretty sure it will also be green in the sense that, let me see, previous was 306K, actually is 209K. Okay, so since this data, let's see, was the only negative data, means that lesser people are being unemployed. I believe because of 2023 and 2022 is because of COVID. That's why there are more people being unemployed. But for July onwards of this year is becoming better and is having a positive outlook for the USD economy. Okay, so if the forecast is 203,000, then it will look good for the USD economy. So yeah, if it does looks good, then we'll see a break through this resistance, come up here. Then here is where we look for sell, right? Okay, so NFP is gonna what makes or break this USD currency, because it's a leading indicator of economic growth. So I believe if there are lesser unemployed people, that's why we'll actually break out this resistance and come to this second resistance. So if this actually increases, right? So EU, GU, and gold would decrease, right? Because they have a negative correlation with one another. So yeah, I've covered all the news and pairs for each of these impactful news. Are there any questions that you guys want to ask me? If not, I'll just go through other pairs and see if there are any potential setups for today and tomorrow. Okay, are there any questions? Let me just give you guys a minute or two to see if there are any questions that you guys will want to ask. SCG. Okay, so I think for EJ, which is Euro JPY, we can see a nice buy at this area right here because of the 23.6% Fibo retracement level. And if I was to take a buy right here, okay, this is where I'm looking at. Yep, so this is what I'm looking at. But price has already went up by 30 pips, 20-ish pips, right? So if we go down to the 1 hour time frame, we can see that there is a price action candle right here and an engulfing candle right here. So these candles with long wicks and a small body means that it's a doji or hammer candle, and this will actually indicate a reversal. So together with these two candles, the doji and the engulfing candle will mean that it's most likely a buy for this area. Yeah, so this is a good buy in my opinion. So you can aim for this area for buy upwards. And yeah, so just to mention, GJ also, EJ, which is Euro JPY, it actually follows GJ as well. So just a tip, if you are buying or selling one of these pairs, is usually in the same direction unless is affected by news, then things will actually turn out differently. Because just to show you guys, let's say maybe 11 a.m. on 28 July. So 11 a.m. on 28 July. See, both went up at the same time. You can see here, right? Okay, so 28 July, 11 a.m., which was when price actually went up as well. And yeah, so these are pairs that I'm looking at. If you guys trade indices previously, let's see if there are any. Oh, okay. So NU, Kiwi USD, it actually looks pretty promising in the sense that it's rejecting off a swing low support, and however, it still looks bearish because of this movement right here. So you can see it looks bearish all the way right here, and we can expect for price to go up. But let's let's say you were to take a buy right here. Your stop loss will be placed below your TP. Your TP1 will be here. This is a level whereby it's a pullback resistance level, because remember there was support here, right? Then support, it broke through, came up as a resistance, and that's why I'm looking for a sell over here. But there's a possibility that price could actually break this area and come up to this second resistance. So that's why I name this as my TP1 and this as my TP2, right? Okay, so that's for NZDUSD. Let's just go through a few more pairs before we end our session. So GBP AUD. Okay, so remember this area, right? When this as our, let's say, support. Okay, I would say this level is more significant because there's price reacted off here, dip down, reacted off here again, and then consolidated for a bit on the low time frame, and then it broke through. So this is a pullback support area. So for resistance wise, if you were to trade GBP AUD, this could be your first resistance. And maybe this could be your, oh, this is a weird candle right here. Second resistance. It's not too far, maybe like 60 pips away only. And then for our second support, we could place it right here. But of course, let's see if we can find any levels of FIB. Yep, it's the 38.2% FIB level, which is right over there. Let's see. Okay, so if we were to draw I don't think we can draw a projection, right? Let me try. Okay, there's a possibility for price to actually sink all the way downwards, but I'm pretty sure that price wouldn't sink all the way downwards until the 100% FIB retracement level. But I think right now price is at the 61%. Okay, so it's slightly, for support, it's slightly above the 61.8% FIBO projection level. So yeah, well, we're looking for a buy right here. And if there's a trend line, okay, here we can see price has reacted multiple times. Where's all this? Okay, price has reacted multiple times. One tap, two tap, three tap, four tap, and then price could potentially reach this area, and then we'll look for a buy entry. Okay. All right, so let's just take a look at the last pair. GPNG don't look that good. Okay. If you put okay, so for EURAUD, we can see that price is now okay, we can see that price is now at this high right here. And if we compare it, it has already broken through. So we will need a better resistance level. Okay, so we can see a better resistance level right there, and then our stops will be our stops will be So the lower time frame, can we see anything? Maybe this area whereby it's a pullback support area. Okay, maybe for the second one. Okay, this is a little bit too far-fetched, so we'll place it right here. Okay, so this is the first support, this is the second support. Okay. Okay, so we have the 61.8% feed level with our second support area. Yeah, I guess, oh, sorry. I guess that should be it for all the majors and gold and one of the other, wait, which pair was it? For oil, yeah. So this is what I'm looking at. Yeah, so okay, if you guys don't have any questions, that's the end of my webinar, and I hope you guys enjoyed this webinar series as much as I did. So yeah, thank you guys for being so attentive and for listening to me. And I hope it's not too overwhelming with all the news and educational materials that we have for you guys. So remember that my advice is that you trade after the news and not before. And yeah, so thank you guys. Without further ado, just end this webinar. So thank you for being attentive, and yes, remember to stay safe, trade safe, and I'll catch you guys in the next webinar series. Bye-bye.